You hear that? That's the sound of time running out on XDefiant. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and the month of August has not been kind to the once hyped XDefiant. A game that many dubbed the Call of Duty killer is now facing the music. Everything has seemingly fallen apart overnight with this game, and now we're left to wonder, is there any hope of reviving it? I never want to be that person to say, I told you so, but no, I'm kidding. I love to be that person, and I told you so. The game isn't fun anymore. It's been effectively killed by the issues that plagued it since day one launch, and the cheaters and smurfs never even gave it a fighting chance. It was like putting it on life support and then they stepped on the breathing tube. All of those high-ranked players and bigger streamers that were so adamant about having to please their audiences so much that they had to break TOS and couldn't just go play another game are now playing other games because this is what they do. They follow the hype train. They don't care about the success of the game, and I tried to warn everyone of this very early on, that solely relying on these types of people only for the size of their audience alone to push your game in front of thousands of viewers was not going to bring the right type of community to the game, and the second something newer and shinier comes out, they're gone, leaving only the players who actually enjoyed this game left behind. So now it's up to us to help pull it from the gutter, brush off the dirt, and try to give it some life again. Despite the issues it still has, and the viewer count on streaming platforms dwindling down day by day, I stand by that this can still be a fun game, and apparently Ubisoft thinks so too, because they aren't pulling the plug. In fact, they're adding more developers to the project, which hopefully breathes some new creativity into the game. Taking a peek at Mark Rubin's Twitter, who, if you don't know by now, is the game's executive producer, he states that they have major reworks to add more stuff like cosmetics and weapon camos, as well as plans for future events. These need to come sooner rather than later, but also at the same time, they need to be done right, no more rushing. But you're also in a race against the clock. It's a tough spot to be in, with Black Ops 6 now only about 2 months away, and at the moment, October 25th is starting to look more like a death date for XDefiant than it does a release date for Black Ops. But it's crunch time. This is it. No more messing around. I can sit here and tell you all how great the game could be and try to beg people to come back, but that's not really going to help. At the end of the day, when the game is stagnant and isn't fun anymore, nobody's coming back. Doesn't matter if I say to come back or somebody much bigger says to come back. We need content, and we need it like yesterday. But what I can say is that this game can still be fun occasionally. It's not going to be something you pick up like every day, but just randomly loading up to play a few games here and there can be fun. In fact, I have some ideas on how to make some new content on the fun side instead of always doom and gloom behind the scenes look at the circus that is XDefiant, so stay tuned for that. And anybody else who's a content creator for this game and wants to do something or maybe make some kind of collaborative video, hit me up in my DMs. I'm always open to new ideas. You can reach me on Discord or Twitter or whatever's easier for you. But the fate of this game really lies in the hands of Mark and his team, and despite all of the criticism that I've given over the last few months, I want and have always wanted this game to succeed. And while I never openly called this game a COD killer, I secretly hope that somehow, some way, it would ruin COD, because if you haven't heard, I hate COD games with a passion. Just terrible games overall ran by greedy companies, and I had hoped that Ubisoft would be different, but what I've learned in my short time playing this game is that greed seems to always win, because there's always people above those who want to make the right decision for the game and its players, and they'll overrule the decisions they make to force the game into an early grave. We don't need an XDefiant 2 or a new one every year. We need XDefiant, the game we all knew it could be. So in spite of all the negative stuff, let me give you my top 3 reasons why XDefiant is still a good game with a decent foundation, and you should come back and still give it a chance. Starting off strong, most of the weapons are pretty balanced. Of course, you have the top 3 that are OP meta weapons, but that's going to happen in most games. Other than that, just about all the weapons in the game are viable to use, and none of them feel terrible. This is definitely saying something for a newer game to have this almost perfectly balanced from the start, and it's a rare sight and should not be discounted. There's apparently some team restructure going on, and while I don't know what that means, I have an idea of what I want it to mean, and until we know otherwise, I'll try to stay positive that we get the right outcome on that front. And lastly, it's free to play. You don't have to spend a dime on the game to enjoy it. It just is what it is. And that's all I have to really say about XDefiant. It was fun while it lasted, but here's to hoping we get many more years of enjoyable content, and it's not too late to save it. On a side note, I did finally get access to Delta Force, and I'll try to have a first impressions review up on that soon. And I might even consider trying Black Ops 6 when it comes out, since it's going to be on Game Pass and I won't really have to pay for it, but don't hold your breath. October is what I would call a busy month for me, mainly because of the Halloween event in Rainbow Six Siege, and by now you would think that Ubisoft pays me to tell you guys this, and they don't, I promise. It's just one of the most fun game modes by far that I've ever seen in any game. But anyway, let me know down in the comments section what you're giving XDefiant's chances of survival beyond this season. Do you think it's destined to fail, or can it maybe weather the storm? Also, if you don't already, you might want to follow me on Twitter if you're interested in a game called Splitgate 2, as I may have some open alpha test codes that I'll be giving away later today. Make sure to hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.